So today we're going to be talking about the body's manifestations of burnout and how to bounce back from that.
Okay, can I just jump in and say how excited I am about this video?
Yes.
And this video is basically my life.
Okay. So this is Alicia's hard-earned strategies for dealing with burnout.
Yeah, well, and the truth and the reality that burnout comes when we tie our worth to performance and how it manifests.
And to outcomes, right?
Yeah, and what are the antidotes and the fact that that's not really supportive. And it is absolutely a coping mechanism that some of us choose, especially for a closer personality type. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, go take our free personalities course. We're going to talk all about it. When you try to find your worth, acceptance, and belonging in accomplishment or in performance, it will lead to burnout. Because who am I if I don't accomplish all the things? Who am I if I'm not the best? Who am I if fill in the blank?
So we're going to talk about some unique challenges that lead to or contribute to burnout, as well as the antidotes. First and foremost, from doing to being, restoring the body. The challenge is that burnout thrives in constant doing. Our bodies store the stress of relentless performance. We override signals of exhaustion until we just collapse. So, Spider-Man 2, Mike only saw the first one, shame on him. Spider-Man 2.
Hey, we don't shame around here.
I do when it comes to Mike and superhero movies. In Spider-Man 2, yes, it's fantastical, but here's the real world corollary. Peter Parker is exhausted. He is trying to succeed in college. He's trying to hold down a job so he can make rent and not get kicked out of his apartment. He's trying to do right by his widowed aunt. He's trying to pursue and court the girl of his dreams, all while fulfilling his destiny of using his powers to help people. Now, here's the relatable part. We're not superheroes, at least not in the classic sense. So he's spreading himself too thin, and at the very least, he feels like he's doing everything poorly, and he's being very hard on himself, and then it manifests physically.
Makes you feel sick in your gut.
What was that?
Now, I know in my case, burnout manifests and I throw my back out.
Yeah.
Like and you know this about me, but like if I get stressed, if I'm carrying a lot, if I'm being very hard on myself, what tends to happen is I store that in my back and then it manifests as I'm on my back for a week and I have to go to the chiropractor a bunch of times and I have to do a bunch of stretching exercises. And I learned from you that almost any bodily malady
physical manifestation
is a physical manifestation of something psychological or emotional, oftentimes tied to trauma. So what is the remedy when your body starts not functioning because of what's going on psychologically?
Okay, no, this is real. And you did such a beautiful job of setting that up, and you did such a beautiful job of finding the clip and saying, like, see how this manifested for Spider-Man.
It sounds so silly when you say it.
No, I mean it. But you were like, oh, you know, you're superhuman, and then you feel like you're doing it poorly. And for me, here's what happened. And I'm just going to speak from my own personal experience, okay? So we were married.
Yes, we were. Everybody knows.
And this was quite a few years ago. And here's what was going on for me. I was parenting 5 children, right? And I was running 2 businesses because that's my strength, is the business end of things. Yeah. And your strength is the razzle dazzle in the content, right? So I'm running these 2 businesses. I'm raising 5 children. I'm homeschooling 4 of them. We had recently moved back to the States. We were living in a 50-year-old home. And so I'm remodeling it, tearing down walls, moving electrical, moving plumbing, drywalling. And like, I am responsible for all of that. All of that. And I was like clinically depressed. I was experiencing anxiety, like high amounts of anxiety for the first time in my life. I wasn't sleeping. It was so heavy. It was so heavy. But it was such a powerful moment because there's a saying that, I think it's a Carl Jung saying, that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will rule your life and you will call it fate. And the unconscious belief, and I didn't see it as a belief, I acted as if it was a truth that I had based 35 years of my life off of, right? Was it doesn't matter what the problem is, the solution is to work harder.
Yeah.
And it's not that hard work is wrong or immoral or unethical. But the truth is, that's not always the solution.
Yeah.
I came to this awareness of 1, that was an unconscious belief I had. And 2, it was not serving or supporting me. I started unraveling all sorts of unsupportive beliefs that I had operated on for decades that kept me safe, but now were keeping me stuck. And what happened is I started looking around and at first, like judgment hit hard. Judgment hit hard because I saw how I was contributing to my own pain. And when that day happens, oh, it is brutal. It is hard because a less mature version of myself could have looked at you and been like, well, it's your fault, right? But it wasn't your fault. Like, yes, there were dynamics that were created between you and I, but it was me who created those circumstances. It was me who believed that that's how I needed to operate.
Yeah.
And then it was that really harsh awakening and that realization of how I was contributing to my own pain and how I wasn't supporting myself that was causing this life. And this is what I compare it to. Because there's the law of the harvest. You reap what you sow, right? And I was really angry that I wasn't harvesting peaches in my life. And the awareness that I had is that I was planting cactus seeds. Like I was not planting seeds of joy. I was not planting seeds of harmony. I wasn't planting seeds of support. Like I was literally planting cactus seeds and being like, why am I not getting something I enjoy eating? Right?
Yeah.
And that's where we need to become aware and we need to be accountable and we have the opportunity to support ourselves in ways that we never previously supported ourselves. And that's where I say, like, I was trying to earn my worth and my acceptance and my belonging through accomplishment.
Yeah.
And that was the day I realized, oh, it doesn't matter how much I accomplish. Like, that is not good enough. And this is where, in our closest relationships, our wounds often fit together perfectly. Because I had aligned myself to accomplishment.
Yeah.
Turns out that wasn't supportive. You aligned yourself to other things. Mm-hmm. And if I can say, avoiding discomfort.
Yeah.
Right? And if there was one place...
Well, the big thing for me has always been I am more than happy to work really hard as long as it's something that I enjoy. In other words, something I'm comfortable with, somewhere where I feel strong.
Right.
If I feel weak, if I feel insecure, if I feel threatened, that's discomfort, and there was the avoidance, and that's the space I was living in.
Audience members, I know you're watching, but you're not live. Like, can you see how, like, our two coping mechanisms fit together perfectly?
If I fit together, you mean fed into a cycle that was detrimental for both of us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That's what you mean, yeah.
No, but really, like, if we shift from judgment of like, well, Alicia, you're wrong in this way, and Jono, you're wrong in this way.
Yeah.
Like, if we shift from judgment to being like, oh, your behaviors came from childhood.
Yeah.
And my behaviors came from childhood. And we operated in them for decades. And then what was created in our relationship was a contrast.
Yeah.
Was a contrast so stark where it was like, hey, Alicia, if there was one place you were going to learn that isn't actually supportive,
Yeah.
that those untruths that you were operating on like they were truth, if there was one place you were going to learn it,
it was here.
It was here.
Yeah. And similarly for my dynamic, this was the place for me to learn it. And people who sometimes in our comments try and say like, who's the victim, who's the villain? Because that happens sometimes. Like Team Alicia, Team Jono, and we're both like, there's
no team.
That's not the point.
Yeah.
The point is that all of this deserves to be seen with compassion.
Yeah.
Because it all came from a genuine human place and just needed to be worked through.
And here's the thing. Like, I understand that not everyone has the tools to show up both in the ways both of us have chosen to show up.
Yeah.
Right? And this goes back to the mission of Mended Light, because if we can talk about those challenges with authenticity, with love, with compassion, with humility, with wisdom, and with understanding, that is what makes any obstacle an opportunity.
Right.
And it is the path for overcoming that obstacle. And I'm not saying like, yeah, everybody turn around and do that. And there's definitely pieces of our story, in my, at private times when I've been alone and I look back and I'm like, man, if I had known the challenges that were going to be there and the outcomes that were going to happen, I would have never had the courage to do some of the things we've done. But once we were in the middle of it,
no choice.
There was still a choice.
Sure.
There's always a choice. There was always a choice.
But at least on my end, like avoidance was no longer a choice because I'd done that and it didn't help. And for you, just working like endlessly to fix the problem wasn't the choice because that wasn't going to solve it.
And just speaking from my own experience, like I have so many powerful conversations with dear friends and dear loved ones.
Yeah.
Their details are different, right? Yeah. But the human journey is the same. And something that I hear often from people, and I always take this very humbly and gratefully, and I don't know if it's necessarily true, but I hear this regularly, and it was like, and so it's some form of, Alicia, you're so wise. Like you always handle challenging life circumstances with so much love and so much compassion and so much wisdom.
I'm laughing just because you are wise, but it's not effortless like the way they're saying that. I'm like,
well, and my close friends know it's not.
It's
effortless.
hard won. Yeah.
Yeah, and then my response is always, thank you very much. Like I'm grateful and I appreciate that. And just know that if there is wisdom in anything that I do, it's because I tried it every other way.
Right.
First.
Right.
and I was like, well, here's the only thing I haven't tried.
That's right.
Might as well do that.
So we just went off on a very worthwhile tangent, honestly. Like this spontaneous moment, I think, was more instructive maybe than what we had planned. So this is what this video turned into. I want to tie it back in. We were talking about the effects of burnout on the body.
Yeah.
And that's where your story started, was the effects of burnout on the body. So how have you talked about the need for rest.
Yeah.
Right. That was your big takeaway in that moment was, I can't just work the problem until it's fixed. I actually have to rest and recuperate. So what are some specific application exercises? How can people take that principle and do something very practical with it?
Yeah. And I started the unraveling process because my worth was tied to performance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to confront that within myself. And I constantly had the opportunity of, am I trying to earn my worth and my acceptance and belonging through performance?
Yeah. Or
am I worthy of it just as I am?
So that was where you landed on peace.
Yeah. And so here's the realization that I had, is that the most important things in life, I cannot do them. And my friends laugh at me, like through Marco Polo, we communicate a lot through Marco Polo. And they're like, Alicia, you talk about rest and you talk about doing rest. And I'm like, You are not wrong.
Rest is on my to-do list.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And so I realized that the most important things in life, I can't do them. I can only become them.
Yeah.
Like one of my core values, and I've known this for a really long time, is integrity. I can't do integrity. I can only become it.
Mm.
Another thing is unconditional love. I can't do unconditional love. I can only become it. To answer your question about practical application,
Mm-hmm.
there's a couple things I'd like to share with you. And then basically, like, we have so many videos on our channel about breath work, about somatic exercises, about planting seeds of joy. Like each of those are the pieces.
Yeah.
And the question to ask yourself is to start realizing what you're tying your worth to. And if you need support with that, our personalities course is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
We just recently redid it, and our lesson on worth ties is incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
And starting that journey for yourself, that unraveling journey, and meeting yourself with consistent compassion. As you become aware and as you see, you have been contributing to your own pain. Peace is found in being, not in proving anything. Take a couple minutes to sit quietly and notice your breath without changing it, and place a hand on your chest and whisper, I am allowed to rest. I am enough as I am.
And to the point of performance, don't tie your worth to outcomes.
Yeah.
Work toward outcomes, definitely labor towards a goal, but it's really the growth that occurs through the journey in resilience and compassion and ability to connect and enjoy life. That's what you pull from it. And if the outcome doesn't happen that you hope for, you still have that, and that's your peace. The peace comes through the growth and through the self-acceptance, the self-compassion.
Yeah. And I'm gonna throw a little note in here that I talk about a lot in our personalities course. And if you haven't taken the new version, even if you've taken our old version, like we redid it and released it like last month.
Yeah.
If you haven't taken the new version, I would highly recommend it, because here's the thing. I believe that we're all here to learn and to grow and become, to the extent that we choose. It's all a choice. But I believe the first great lesson that we all have the opportunity to learn is that our worth is innate. And the way that we learn that lesson is to stop attaching our worth to things outside of ourselves. Literally every day, all day long, it's a practice in choice. But if you don't realize the choice you're making, if you don't realize like, oh, I'm attaching my worth to this, and that's unsupportive and it's hurting me, how are you supposed to make a different choice?
Right.
And so that's why I am so passionate about what we do here at Mended Light and sharing that message, because our coping mechanisms manifest differently, but the human journey is the same.
Well, and you brought up our personalities course, and this is like the game changer as far as our relationship, my life, I really think your life as well.
Oh, yeah.
And that course is absolutely free for you to try right now. Link is on the screen, also in the description. Take a moment or a couple hours.
Hang out with us some more.
To dive deep on understanding what you value, what those around you value, and how that unlocks everything from conflict resolution to connection to self-love and self-compassion and so much more. So check that out. Let us know in the comments below how you bounce back from the physical symptoms of burnout.
Or how you've tied your worth to performance. Like, is this a new idea? Is this something you've heard of before? Or is it like totally groundbreaking? Because I'm going to be honest, it was groundbreaking for me.
All right. So until next time, folks, keep shining.
We need your light.